Always great to chop it up with Longhorn legend Derek Johnson. The Longhorns will be at Vanderbilt on Saturday, but boy, I don't think that's the biggest game involving a team in our state. Man, the Texas A&M Aggies and the LSU Tigers have given us some classics over the years, and this one coming up Saturday night at 6:30 p.m. You can finish up with the Longhorns and tune into the Aggies right there at Kyle Field. It promises to be explosive. Our esteemed beat writer Tony Catalina is going to be at Kyle Field for that one. And the Aggies are having a banner season right now. 4-0 in conference play for the first time since the 2016 team opened up with wins over Auburn, Arkansas, South Carolina, and Tennessee. The team we see now, Tony, is way different than that 23-13 loss to Notre Dame to open the season. What has Mike Elko put in the water to have these Aggies playing as well as they've been playing?
It's funny. You try to figure out what that inflection point was, and you think about it, and you wonder if it was in Gainesville against Florida, right? When they shook off the demons that were the away games and they just couldn't find a way to win on the road. Once they shook that off, you just felt like whether it was offense, defense, it didn't matter who was the quarterback, Marcel Reed or Connor Wegman, they were able to kind of just buy into what Elko and his staff was putting together. And if you look at it, like any first year program or a first year coach, it's got to be about the buy-in. And I really do think at some point, this team just gelled together and understanding like, hey, we have some talent and we have an opportunity here. So if I had to put my finger on it, I'd probably say that Gators matchup.
Yeah, going to Gainesville, even though the Gators aren't great, and winning 45-28, exercising those demons. I don't even remember what the losing streak was on the road. It was long, though. It was
Yes.
long. And then taking care of business in Stark Vegas. They've had problems in Stark Vegas in the past. And so it's a different groove in the 979. The Aggies are playing well. They're looking like a team that's going places. When I was there for the Missouri game, that was a systematic beatdown of the then number 9 team in the country. And so what we're seeing is confidence starting from the top, and that's Elko. But now they go up in class. This is a big time matchup. Garrett Nussmeier, Kyron Lacey are a big time pass receiving duo. Now it ain't Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and Justin Jefferson, but they are the number 2 passing offense in the SEC. What problems are they going to present for the secondary?
It's when you talk about it in the SEC every week, you're playing against top tier talent. You're playing against guys who can stretch the field, quarterbacks who have elite arm talent, and this is just another one of those matchups where Will Lee and company are going to have to just buckle up the chin strap and be ready to play. It's not just Kyron Lacey too. It's Mason Taylor, the tight end. They got other guys that are capable of spreading the football around and making plays. So this, I said it earlier this week, and I'll say it again. This is going to be, including that Missouri matchup. This is probably going to be the toughest test they have in the passing game and the pass defense. And when you talk about the 2 tackles they have at the offensive line, like the pass rush is going to be a must-watch battle as well. So, on every level, you feel like this is going to be the truest, toughest test the A&M Aggies have had to face all season. So it's going to be box office.
The thing I love is Elko's a defensive guy. He was the DC here and before he left for Duke. And Texas A&M's getting it from everybody. Getting it from Nick Scourton, getting it from Scooby Williams, Will Lee. They've got guys showing up and filling up a stat sheet. And Jay Bateman, uh, terrific hire,
Mm.
has them swarming to the ball. And this is an aggressive of a defense as I've seen, and they were decent at
Yeah.
times last season, with Edgerrin Cooper. But it just seems like it's more balanced. Do you think it's going to be a shootout between these two? Is A&M equipped offensively to be in one of those epic 45-38 type games? Or do you think it's better if they take the air out of the ball and make it a ground control type game with Le'Veon Moss and company?
I think you just said it there. I mean, we saw them. We both were there. We saw the Missouri out on pouring the onslaught there was. But I think if Elko had it his way, it's going to be a pound and ground, ground and pound. Stop them on defense, make it, shorten it up at the time of possession. Now, I don't know. I mean, like I said, they've scored 40 points, but is that the way they're built offensively? I don't know if it is, right? They're a team, they're not afraid to throw the football, but we all understand what their strength is and what they want to do. So, if they can get into that scenario and come out successful, I think it's just another box check for them. But I think if they have it their way, they're going to want something that's like 24, 14, something tight and short there.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, and I think LSU is more wide open. They've got a few more weapons on the outside, but if you don't like living on moms, you don't like football. That is a grown man playing a grown
Yes.
man position, and he is seeking contact. Come see me. I'll meet you in the hole. Yeah, I've seen enough of him to know that he's got some Sunday afternoon ability. Who you picking? I know who you're picking, but I need you to tell the public.
Listen, I think right now it'd be foolish for me to question or doubt anything that this Aggies team has done since week one, and they lost to Notre Dame. They've checked every box, they've done everything and met every challenge head on. So it may not be popular. I think nationally, I think people are going to lean LSU, but I got my Aggies or the Aggies 27-24 in this one. I think they find a way to win it and shock the world a little bit this week.
Well, man, I got 27-24 as well, but I'm going with the Bayou Bengals to figure it out. I don't like me picking them because I think they are. I've seen them 3 times this year, and they have some of the dumbest penalties, unsportsmanlike conducts, and tauntings, and stuff like that. That can cost you in a game of this magnitude. So I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful game. It's the game of the weekend
For
in college
sure.
football. It's not even close. Before we get out of here, the Dallas Cowboys, some near and dear to your heart. Your live blog on the Cowboys doing big numbers on statesman.com. You're a man of many hats. Cowboys 49ers. The good news is this game isn't in January. So
Mm,
the season's not going to end there, if they lose like it usually does when they
right.
play the Niners in the playoffs. It's a banged up Niners team.
Mm.
Christian McCaffrey hasn't played one snap. Debo Samuel just got out of the hospital with pneumonia, and Brandon Ayuk just blew out his knee.
Mm.
The Niners are beaten up and battered.
Yeah.
Are they ripe for the picking? And can the Cowboys, who have made more news with Jerry Jones's radio comments than anything they've done on the field, can they step in there and get a much needed dub on Sunday night?
I mean, they got to smell blood in the water, right? I mean, of all 49ers matchups in the last 3 or 4 years, this is the most winnable game. But you look at the Cowboys and they're coming off a bye week, a tumultuous bye week. I feel like the bye week is where you're supposed to get some rest. And there was no rest for this
So
Cowboys fan base. There's no rest for the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, they got their own injuries, they got their own situations they got to overcome. But it's tough for me. I think they can, but I've made a vow to myself that until I see it, I can't pick it, right? The 49ers are their boogeyman, and until they're able to exercise that demon, it's going to be hard for me to sit here and say it with my chest that they could win.
I just don't trust them, man. I just
Mm,
don't trust them. And Jerry on the radio threatening jobs. And then Monday night, Derrick Henry runs wild.
mm.
Derrick Henry, who lives in Dallas in the offseason, who never got a call from Jerry Jones, just disgraceful. And he just sat idly by in the
Yeah.
offseason while running backs were going at blue light special prices. Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon,
Mm,
Derrick Henry, I mean, Josh Jacobs
right.
were out there for the taking, and he could have gotten Derrick Henry for a song because Derrick Henry knows you don't pay state income tax in
Mm.
Texas, and he has a house,
And he
and,
wanted to be here.
and he wanted to be here. And then Jerry had the nerve to get indignant. Unbelievable.
Unreal.
Unbelievable. So you're not picking him.
I can't. I know where my heart lies. I just know where my brain's at. So I can't, they don't match right now, and I can't do it.
You sound like every Cowboy fan I know. I've been hurt. I've been hurt a lot. I
Scars.
can't do it. I don't blame you. I
Yeah.
mean, after a while, you get, and I'm not trying to speak ill about the print product because the product is paying a lot of my bills. But after a while, you get tired of getting hit across the face with a wet newspaper.
Yes.
That's what the Cowboys do to their fan base time and time again.
It's one of those things where this offseason felt different for the people that had like a pulse on it. Like, yeah, they've been burned, they've been scorned. The fan base has always been hurt and then come back around. This year it just felt like the come around never came back, right? It just
Oh,
now it's everyone's fed up in the start to the season 3-3 and the way it's been done and the way that Jerry Jones is handling off the field. It's people are tired. I think that's the best word for it. They're just tired.
yeah, they're tired. And, after a while, fatigue gives way to apathy.
Mm,
And when they stop caring, Tony,
yeah.
that's when you don't see 90,000 at
That might
18.
be when he hits the red button, right? Like he might start hit the panic button at that point, and they don't care.
Should have hit it a long time ago. Should have hit it a long
Agreed.
time ago. Well, man, have fun at the game. That's going to be so much fun. And you can follow Tony Catalina on X at Tony_Catalina,
Yes.
Catalina. It has a little rhyme to it. You can also check him out on statesman.com. Good Aggie content. The live blog for the Dallas Cowboys is going to be a long weekend for my boy. Sunday night game, but he's young, guys. He's
Yeah,
young. So don't
I
feel
can
bad
handle
for him. That man
it.
is young. He'll be fine. He will be fine. That's going to do it for episode 349 of On Second Thought. We got to thank our guests, Derek Johnson and Tony Catalina, for joining us. Special shout out to Chandler Hoffley, who's my producer, who helps it all go. Check out our Longhorn content. Danny Davis, Caleb Young, David Eckert, and Thomas Jones have it on lock. We'll see you next time. It was great, man. That was great.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.